How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews back with some mystery beers. This one comes courtesy of my boy Steven. He sent off a Christmas bag of beers and some mystery, some otherwise. And yeah, I think this is the last one from him I'll be cracking. This is a couple days before my birthday, so it took me a couple weeks to get through them. Such is life. There's a date on the bottom here. It says 6/29/2019, so just about 6 months old. Shouldn't be an issue for a beer of that color. Sure, you know, if it has coffee or something like that, it might have dropped off, but I don't think it'll be an issue. Half pinky finger, malted malt ball color head, airing towards where I like my coffee go. Color-wise, you know, a little bit of rich mahogany tones on the edge, done and done. Wrapping, the ever so festive Christmas mystery beer wrapping. And yeah, see if we can get a nose. What is that? It's a lactose beer. It's a milk stout. Might have bourbon involved. So I've been getting a lot of this on stouts as of late. I don't think it's so much that I'm just kind of gravitating towards a specific kind of nose in a lot of beers. I just think those random beers that I've been getting all these similar-ish noses on are just kind of similar nose beers. And I'm getting like a lactose vibe. I am getting a roasted malt vibe that's not overly bitter. And I'm getting a red cherry note. So that's kind of where it makes me want to kind of, I'm not quite sure if I want to say it hit a bourbon barrel or it's like a Russian Imperial Stout, something kind of floating around on those edges. But nothing overly impactful. There might be some kind of like maple syrup or some kind of like molasses or something in here, because I'm getting this added sweetness that I don't think is a malt base and I don't think is a liquor base. So let's dive in, see what she's got. Cheers. Okay. Okay. There's a big roast component to it. There's a little bit of that metallic thing going on, but I think it's a higher ABV beer, so a lot of that, the extra oomph of the beer is kind of tampering a bit of that kind of metallic thing. Okay. I think this is somebody's bourbon barrel aged maple Russian Imperial milk stout. Does that make sense? 12.9% Imperial Stout that is bittering forward with maple syrup. I think that's it. Nice mouthfeel to it. Not thick. This definitely has some nice hefty density to it. A bit of booziness, a bit of sharpness in the back. Not necessarily a heat, but like an evaporative alcohol thing. Makes me think there's barrel involved, but also makes me think it's higher in ABV. Nice roast component, but it's definitely more sweet than bittering. That's why I keep going like a Russian Imperial Stout on this. I'm actually going to nix the milk portion of the show. So let's go bourbon barrel aged Russian Imperial Stout that hit something maple. Like maybe it was the second use bourbon barrel that aged maple syrup or something along those lines. Because it definitely has this kind of mapley vibe to it. It could be like blackstrap molasses, something along those lines. But there's an added sweetener component to it beyond what I believe to be a spirit barrel and the beer itself. I dig it. I dig it quite a bit, actually. I wouldn't be upset if they said there was coffee in this, because I'm getting a decent amount of coffee vibes off of it, but it's the kind of coffee vibe you typically get off of like a really well-done kind of super roasted beer, and that you're getting the kind of coffee roast from the malt itself, not from the coffee. I like it. It's one of the better malt-forward beers. The one thing I'd really kind of, if I was going to sit here and kind of tell you the one thing I'm not quite sure about, it would be the barrel portion of the show. It could just be a high ABV beer, but man, those fruit notes got me thinking. Got me thinking all kinds of things and stuff. Okay, so we're kind of floating around in the right direction. We're talking about Stone. It is their Woot Stout, and this is the past year I reviewed this, and I wasn't a big fan of it. It had a metallic thing going on that I don't dig all that much. But it wasn't nearly as bad in this mystery one. Now, when I had the one that I reviewed, it was hyper fresh. It came directly from Stone. So, you know, age could have definitely done this a bit proper. It's 11.5. What did I say? 11.8? I think I said 11.8 or 12.8. Close enough. You're talking about a stout brewed with pecans, wheat, and rye. So that wheat is that that creaminess that I was associating with like a milk stout instead of being oats and sweet. So that kind of makes sense, even though I nixed the milk portion of the show at the end. Rye, 1/4 age, and wheat and rye. So there's a rye spiciness to it. That's where I believe that bittering got kicked up a notch for me and kind of made me think more Russian Imperial Stout, because that rye is adding a spiciness to it. And it definitely has that bourbon barrel going on for it. The pecans, maybe that in combination with just the bourbon, that's what was giving me like a maple syrup thing. I don't know, but that's kind of where it's at for me. And honestly, it's pretty damn tasty stuff. That's the best thing about mystery beers is that, I love doing the ones that I've already reviewed before, because it gives you a unique and fresh perspective on something that you've already drank, but you don't know you're drinking it. So it really is kind of a couple different things. One's to test your palate to see if you can recognize the beer from what it was when you originally had it. I didn't do that. I would not have guessed it being this beer, to be perfectly honest with you. But I'm pretty sure in that review I did say, I could see Time doing this a little bit proper. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I said I don't think Time was going to do it all that well. I don't know. But from what I remember of me speaking about this beer when I originally drank it, this one is a little bit better than what that one was. So that's the fun part about mystery beers, revisiting stuff that you already had, see how fucked up and crazy and stupid your palate is, and yeah, that's mystery beers though too. That's why people love them so much. Is it one of the better blended barrel-aged stouts, I guess you would say? Because it is kind of blended barrel-aged stouts that I've had as of late. It's worthy of conversation. It's not up there towards the top, but it's still a pretty damn tasty beer. Bagged availability, it's Stone. You probably can get a 4-pack of this for what, $11, and leave you with, if not 6-pack, and leave you with, if you like what way you like this beer. If you like bourbon barrel aged, bittering-ish forward, kind of slightly pastry morning breakfasty stouts, because like I said, there was no coffee in it, but it gets subtle coffee vibes. It does have a little bit of that kind of maple syrupy thing, so you get that combination of that coffee coming from that roasted malt, that little bit of maple syrupy thing that I think is a combination of bourbon and the pecans kind of working together, and it gives you very much kind of a cool tweak on a little bit of a breakfast stout. So if those are the things that you dig, you will probably dig this. There you go. Another review in the books. Mystery beer in the books, mind you. If you enjoy the mystery beers, you're more than welcome to reach out. massivebeers@gmail.com. The only way we could do them is any of us, whether me or the other people that are now doing mystery beers. We can only do them if you guys send them to us. So, yeah, reach out. Massive Beers, if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff, plug that in the Googs. Beer Massive, if you want to see us talking about beer in the old podcasting format. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little bit of mystery beer. Or not. Just beer, good beer in general. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.